Title: From Safety Shoes to Safety Blows, a dive into chemical plant safety. Industrial safety in chemical plants is as complex a dance as doing the tango with an alligator. You have all the dangerous elements, and if you miss a step, it can bite. Among the various practices, the nitty-gritty details of process safety hold pride of place, a bit like the crown jewels stored among all those bits of shiny but essentially useless safety seminars. Imagine Carl, a safety manager, the reluctant hero in our tale. Now, Carl was the kind of guy who wore his safety goggles at the top of his head like a hairband. He was summoned to lead a safety audit of the Plantopolis chemical facility, a place notorious for having more safety hazards than a clown convention in a minefield. At the heart of Plantopolis lay a labyrinthine network of pipes, tanks, and towering vats that would give any bureaucratic red tape a run for its money. Carl's task wasn't just to ensure that everyone wore their hard hats. No, his goal was to make sure the plant didn't suddenly decide to audition for a Michael Bay film with a spontaneous explosion. One fateful Tuesday morning, Carl's checklist included everything from evaluating pressure relief systems to ensuring hazardous chemicals didn't do an escape act rivaling Houdini. It was during his rounds when he discovered something rather peculiar. Plantopolis had a knack for the dramatic. Near one of the vats labeled "Do Not Open, Ever," Carl noticed steam wheezing out like a tired old man trying to jog. Turns out, Terry, the plant's foreman and occasional amateur magician, had decided to adjust a gasket using his magical powers. With Terry's help, Carl embarked on what can only be described as a real-life episode of what could possibly go wrong. They followed all the safety protocols, conducted a swift root cause analysis, and eventually declared the situation safe once the Houdini-inspired steam had receded. The case study highlights that intrinsic safety is about knowing when to hold, when to fold, and especially when not to use mundane objects around hazardous chemicals as if you're auditioning for a cooking show. For any process safety system, dig into hazard identification like you're on a treasure hunt. It involves risk assessment, proper equipment maintenance, and exhaustive safety drills. Most importantly, remember Carl's final lesson from Plantopolis. Never underestimate the power of a precise checklist and a sense of humor when dealing with chemical chaos. After all, in the world of chemical plants, process safety is less about crossing your T's and more about anticipating the commas before they turn into question marks or exclamation points.